It's time to relax. You know what that means. Glass of wine, favorite easy chair, and of course, this sweet little podcast.
Where did you come up with this one? This is out of left field,
man. It's
okay.
Offspring.
Gotcha. I don't know.
Yeah, Dave.
So we're finally on Spotify. So you want to give something a little bit of ASMR at the beginning. You want to kind of give a raspy voice. Some people are just
are we
to
on
the
Spotify
audio.
now?
Yeah, can you believe it? We're on Spotify now. Yeah,
wow.
We've officially made
to the big leagues, dude. Holy shit.
Now people can hear us say orbs and Dolby.
Now we can get like a third of a cent every time someone streams us.
I think to celebrate being on Spotify, we should start the show.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday with all the PSVR goodness that you need right here on YouTube. But if you want more of a drive and listen kind of person, as we said in the introduction, don't worry, we get you covered because PSVR Gamescast Live is now available on Spotify and soon any streaming service of your choice.
Wow.
And YouTube.
YouTube. We've already been on YouTube.
You missed
gotta
the
let
beginning
them
of the
know
episode.
that it's available on YouTube.
AJ, you already missed the beginning of the episode. Where have you been? It's only been a minute. My name's Brian Paul from this show right here, PSVR Without Parole, and the guys to my right, the boys! Dave from Dave Station for VR.
That's me.
We need to make a compilation of all my VR introductions.
Oh, well, now you can clip things on YouTube, so get clipping, folks.
Get clipping, folks. Yeah.
Button.
That guy on the right-hand side of the screen is AJ from The Underground, PSVR. Underground.
Blue Drew, the Underground Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house says YouTube is more immersive. We're all about that immersive, right? What is up, Brian? What is up, Dave? What is up, Game Cats? All of you. Brax, Bro, Decepticon, Just Cassie, Flame Hat, Game Cat, LC.
To the cat!
All you guys.
Oh my God, are we at the end of the show already? That was quick. Yeah, that was quick. We're done.
Monday
That's
to
it.
all of you. Mondays usually suck, but hopefully we can help your Monday suck just a little bit less.
I somehow got a phone notification the second that you said suck. Like almost as like a kicker. It was perfect.
Suck.
But
Suck,
I'm
suck,
gonna
suck,
turn
suck,
my
suck.
phone down.
Special shout out to Jeffy Condile with the $5 tip, who says, good job. He tipped way before the show started. We thank you so much, Jeffy Condile. Hopefully you catch this on the flippity-flop sometime later, whether it be here on YouTube or on Spotify.
Also, side note, the first person to comment before the stream started was Parole, who is trying to develop a VR game and bring it to us.
Ooh,
so
the visual
if you want to
style,
support,
too. Oh, that game looks beautiful.
if you want to support them, go to Reddit, go to that article they posted, and show some support.
Speaking of developers in the chat, Endeavor One says, congrats on going wide, GameCat Lords. What a way to phrase that. But it's fine. It's okay. Going wide.
I feel like I've just
usually in
my
a sports
legs
game
and
that's
spread wide
bad,
open.
right? Like if you go wide, you don't want to go wide, but
It's a totally different interpretation than I had.
yeah.
All right, you guys, a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure you join our Discord. Link is in the description below. That's where we all hang out 24/7. That is where some multiplayer meetups happen. That is where the daily box VR stuff happens. Man, we had the biggest class ever yesterday. We had 11 people, I think. Maybe it was 10.
You can fit that many? Oh, you split to
We had to split up into two classes. But we were all in the same voice chat. We were all working out together. It was a good time. Box VR, still really rough around the edges, man, but it gets the job done, which is ultimately what matters.
It forces you to work out. So.
And of course, if you want your name on that little scroll down below, that's the Patreon scroll. Go to patreon.com/withoutparolegames, and you can get your name on that scroll. People tell me they're having problems putting the name that they want on the scroll. You can see that some people write whatever the heck they want, and some people have their real names. So let me know if anybody has a problem with that. I'm trying to figure it out. I love you so much. Without Parole Games on patreon.com. That didn't work out at all.
Yes.
We got a ton of news, though, don't we, AJ?
We do have a lot of news. Going to be an exciting week, guys. Strap
The whole week's going to be exciting.
The whole
I can't wait.
Strap it on, Dave.
Strap it on. I'm ready to strap it on,
be
Brian.
exciting.
For you, I'll strap it on, Brian.
But first, the first thing we want to talk about is anything always PS5 related, which there isn't really anything PS5 related today. However, GDC aka Games Developer Conference, is underway today officially, and there's a couple little things we wanted to highlight, a couple things that I was interested in seeing, mainly some VR conferences that were going on. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a conference for game developers. It's not necessarily something that's meant for the public, not supposed to be flashy. It's usually boring stuff, but there was 3 presentations, and the 2 that really got my attention is number 1, Arvory Immersive, makers of Pixel Ripped, this little fine game right here.
You guys call me the props guy, but look at AJ. Come on.
It's not a prop.
Look at this. It is a prop.
I think you call yourself the props guy, Dave.
Well, you know.
That's true.
That's fine. Well, you know what I got right here, AJ, for you.
Oh, damn. Damn, it's far you win.
Mine's
Mercy. I give up.
so far away.
Arvory Immersive gave a presentation earlier this morning where they talked about using effective memory to be able to, what is it? I'm sorry, using like memories and stuff and nostalgia to create more immersion, which I thought would be, they're probably going to talk about, obviously, Pixel Ripped, which is all based on retro games. And then, of course, the legendary Peter Aikman, I always want to say Venkman, from Skydance Interactive CEO, talking about the whole journey creating Saints and Sinners from start to finish. Apparently they had a lot of like hurdles and stuff they had to go through. So I'd like to get a copy or find somewhere to get the conferences and check those out if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they usually post, I think a lot of times they'll post some of the talks like online, and you can find some of them, yeah.
Yeah, I could go for another Mark Cerny breakdown. Like let's have him pull out the PSVR 2 headset. And dude, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like that, his breakdown of the PlayStation 5 was maybe not for the average consumer, but
it was good for napping if you want to take a nap.
You know, and it took most of us that are a little unfamiliar with all the technical terms a few watches to really understand what was going on. But I would take an in-depth look at PSVR 2 headset during GDC, which I mean, it's not going to happen, but I would love, even if it was as stale and as boring as the PS5 breakdown, give it to me, man. Give it to me. Like, that is something I'm super interested in hearing. I don't care how bland the presentation is, just give it to me.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say though is usually GDC talks are like post-mortems, like, hey, we made this game, and here's how we did it, here's what happened, here's our process, here's what we learned along the way, right? So I don't expect them to announce upcoming stuff in a GDC talk. It's usually about like, hey, developers, I have some info because I worked on a game, you might think this is interesting, whatever, like sharing information. So yeah, I don't know for sure, but
Endeavor One
still
says
probably some good VR talks, I assume.
Yeah, there's a couple in there. There's also like an education games one, education VR experiences, and I'm like, oh, maybe somebody can talk about how to make a good one because nobody's done that
Space
yet.
Explorer VR. They're here to talk about how they achieve the perfect educational game.
Can we just get Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego in VR? I mean, like that.
Oh
that
yeah,
great.
dude, absolutely, I'd love that.
Yeah, so much better.
But we also need Rockapella.
How come they haven't done Oregon Trail VR? They're making a TV show of it.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah. No, it looks bad. Looks terrible. But yeah.
Well,
I'm excited.
The cool thing is, of course, the last, to wrap this one up, the Mark Cerny, when he was talking about, when he introduced, and we were all just glued to the screen waiting for him to say those sweet little words, PSVR. And he finally did, but it was mostly to talk about the Tempest audio engine is how he really introduced it. Said they didn't want to talk about anything revealing their VR plans for the future, but they did go into a big thing about HRTF, which was like the audio, the way your ears are shaped and stuff, and how they have different calculations algorithms. That PSVR actually had its own audio like engine for it, or hardware built in, which is why it's very separate, and that microphone is so damn good. But I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but on the PS5 there is, if you go in, he said that there was going to be 5 different audio choices to help set your level for like locality, to create more like locality in the audio design and stuff.
Oh yeah, you can go through, if you have the Pulse audio, there's up top, a little lower, middle.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like if you go, I had to adjust mine. I don't know, did you have to adjust yours?
I am bad at knowing when something's right. Like I'll adjust my TV for like an hour and not know if it looks better or not. But so like with that, I sort of just went with the middle one. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounded fine.
So for headphone users, just a quick tip: go to your audio settings and listen to the examples they give you and follow the instructions and set the thing, and you'll have a little bit better audio experience.
Yeah.
So, but I'm hoping at the tail end of this or shortly after, at the end of this summer, is when we maybe start hearing stuff about PSVR 2 officially. We know that there's the games developer, the PSVR 2 Summit happening in early August, but that's all we have to go on. Nothing publicly known yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so moving on, guys.
What we got?
Mixed Realms, the creator of Sairento. Yes, amazing ninja action. Tons of ninja action going on today, and I love it. But they have released an updated trailer that gave us some pre-alpha looks at their next game called Hellsweeper VR. And man, I want to hear your guys' impressions because I was so impressed with this pre-alpha footage.
Yes, no, it looks fucking incredible, dude. Like they took, I don't know, Sairento was great gameplay wise, but like the depth of the kind of narrative and like the world building we've talked about wasn't that great, right? Like, but this looks fucking awesome. Like these enemies, this world that they're in, like looks really fucking cool. I'm super stoked, and like it's more of the same kind of gameplay it looks like, but just with a way cooler delivery. And Sairento already kicked ass by itself, but you got like magical powers now, like floating in the fucking air and shit. They say it's more crazy than Sairento. I don't know. I'm very excited.
And it is.
This looks so good to me.
More crazy. Yeah,
I think I just saw what's his face. Cookie. What's the guy with the hole in his mouth?
Yeah, you got me thinking
Not
cookie pie. Now it's
no, it's not Cookie Pie.
I know. If you didn't say cookie, I would have been great. Oh no,
something love. Candy Love. Candy Love. That's what I'm thinking of. I think he's in right. Looks like he's in here.
Well, nice. It was time. It was time for Candy Love to make a reappearance.
Bring him back.
Shout out to Blue Jew, the underground game cat with the $2 tip. Says testing 1, 2, chew. Nice little butterfly. Thank you so much, Blue Jew, the underground game cat. Yeah, this looks awesome. It's definitely to me. I can't shake the feeling that I've seen the look of this before. The setting it reminds me of DMC, the remake by Ninja Theory of Devil May Cry with the floating city and all the demons. And it looks like they kind of took that and ran with it. I would have been so upset if they scaled back the Sairento locomotion system in any way. But to see like that, there you are in the game, you do a flip in midair, you're kind of like slow down time, and you're attacking. Like this is what made Sairento great. And if they're taking that and running with it and just going further with it, then by all means, man, sign me up.
Well, yeah, I mean, like in the description of the words on the screen are like, the spiritual successor to the most badass action game that ever existed in VR. And like, they're not wrong. Like that game is super fucking cool. Like, then this just looks like a lot of polish on top. And I do hope they keep the weapon customization and all that stuff that we had in Sairento. But this looks great. I can't wait.
Yeah. If you recall the last trailer, the first teaser that we saw for this game, we were like pretty excited about the look of it and stuff, but there was something missing, which was the aerial combat, stuff like that, jumping, backflips, and we were like, oh no, we have to assume that's going to be in there, but we weren't sure. So it's great to get not only confirmation of that, but to see actually, I mean, Dave, you mentioned how there's like magic spells and stuff. There's also like enchanting weapons, like they do a magic spell on their weapon has that thing. The demons look absolutely amazing.
Yes.
The art design, everything for pre-alpha footage, this looks pretty damn good artistically already. Yeah,
it's got that classic like Oni look. You know what I'm talking about? Like the Japanese demons. They look exactly like what you'd expect from like if you're playing Onimusha or some shit like
the
Neo.
PS2 game Oni. I was like, no.
Well, no, that's a fun game. No, but Oni is a demon in Japanese. But yeah, those kind of like traditional Japanese demon designs. Yeah. That's exactly what they got going on. It looks really cool.
Right, and Brian's review of Sairento had so many references to Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I've played every single one. I've beaten almost all of them except.
You finally played 5?
I did, but I didn't beat it yet. But that's always been one of my favorites because the combination of sword fighting and shooting and different weapons to use, it's always had some of the best, deepest gameplay mechanics that I've always loved about it. And this looks a lot like Devil May Cry in so many ways. I absolutely love it. But specifically, there's two things that really stood out to me as well. And one is there's actual like air juggling, like he's shooting one of the demons up in the air and juggling them. That's like one of the things. So I'm hoping there's like a cool combo system in this where you can get those, build up those like CBA or S ranked combos and stuff for more points. There was also one other thing I noticed where right after it says like more crazy, there's a part where he actually surfs on a demon, like he jumps towards a demon, knocks him over, and surfs on him. That was something that you could do in Dynasty Warriors. I'm also a huge fan of Dynasty Warriors, and so like, but to be able to do that,
surf on enemies in Dynasty Warriors. That's
the later ones.
Okay.
There's like 20 of them. No, there's something. But
I looked at my Switch the other day and I forgot that I owned a Dynasty Warriors game on it because I was just like, yeah, these are fun. I'll buy one.
Love Dynasty Warriors, all the way up until like 7 and 8, even. Minus 1 or 2 in there. There's like 5 Empires was bad or something, but I'm a huge fan of those. And just to see these, it's just these little gameplay things, these special attacks and stuff I'm seeing.
If it's going full Devil May Cry, we need a motorcycle you can split in half and use as a weapon. Because that was super fun.
Yeah.
Guys, real quick shout out to Delirium Drew VR with a $3 tip. Says Mondays suck, but no work today, so have $3. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Nice try.
Great.
Also, shout out to Mad Max Stone, the GameCat Avenger with the $3 tip. Says, I have arrived. This game looks awesome. DMC VR. LOL.
Hell yeah.
We all agree with you big time on that. And of course, Sergeant Frosty with a $2 tip says, little train,
Frosty Express.
I think, with dollars and Frosty Express, and I'm
that
pretty
looks like a Zamboni to me. I don't think that looks like a Zamboni.
Does look like a Zamboni or an iron. He's maybe he's doing
or like
something.
maybe the nose of a plane, possibly from the side.
Nose of the plane as well.
Yeah.
But everyone remember that Devil May Cry is Frosty's childhood.
Yes,
Very
that's
important.
correct.
Keep that in mind.
And I'd like to call out a great comment that we just got. No tip on it, but it's a good one. Swain Jupiter, what's up? Says, any of you know what Martin Wheeler is working on these days? He's a poet, the gaming world's Tarkovsky. We desperately need games like Separation. Good comment, Swain.
I do actually know what Martin Wheeler is working on. I know he was working on a 2D game for a while after Separation, and then it does sound like maybe he could be back in the VR game. So look forward to hearing more about Martin's next project, hopefully soon. But I mean, Separation.
The only thing is we can't accept him to have enough trauma to give us another Separation because he got that off his chest already. You know what I'm talking about?
I want more Separation, man. It's like
dude, it's like he got it off his chest, man. That's it. He doesn't have to keep doing that.
Martin can have some of my tragedy. I can give him some of my tragedies to work with, so that he doesn't have to suffer anymore.
If you need depressing themes, I got them, bro. Let's go. Anyways,
Glacier Streams with a $4 tip says tipping because I saw people tipping. Thanks,
that's
man.
That's the tip train. Yeah.
Monkey say, monkey do. Damus Schmosh with $2 tip says extra firewall code. Oh fuck, it's an extra firewall code.
Firewall code. Wow, those don't just fall off the back of the bus too often. Jesus Christ. Okay, enjoy.
I should read tips in my head before I read them out loud. I had no idea.
Firewall is amazing.
Well,
I just played Season 7 recently. No new map, no new guns or any. I mean, no new character, but still such a good game. To wrap up with Hellsweeper here, from the YouTube page, they say Hellsweeper VR can be best described as a roguelike first-person combat simulator. Ooh. You play it as an undead immortal who's on a mission to take out the scumbags of hell. Nice. You can traverse the different dimensions, yield weapons with deadly precision, command the forces of telekinesis, and muster unseen powers to wipe out your enemies. So they have a planned public alpha for August, and they say join their Discord. But this game is planning on being released in 2022, quarter 2 to quarter 3 is what they're going for, and we're suspecting that this will likely be a PSVR 2 game at some point.
Jesus Christ, guys! We got Avalanche.
We got a lot of tips rolling in. Let's get those in just 1 second, though. Good ones too, absolutely.
Incredible.
I like that. I like that the description says roguelike on this because because that's not what Sairento was. Sairento was more of a straightforward run and gun shooter. If you die, fucking do it again, man. No big deal. I want some more consequences, and I think this game is going to deliver those. So that is a very important part of that description, I think. I think it's going to add more game to like a fun structure of a game, if that makes sense.
Well, and also what I like is when they say scumbags from hell, because I'm immediately thinking Doom Guy.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna, that's the vibe of a good fun game. Just like, kill these scumbags from hell in the
Right.
most badass action adventure you can imagine. It's great. I can't wait for this thing.
I did ask them on Twitter. I said, hey, this looks like this sounds like PSVR 2 launch title kind of thing, and they were just like, we want to do
Gonna say
consoles.
shit.
We're just not committing. He's like, the last thing we want to do is rush it and release a buggy game. So I would 100% not expect a PSVR 1 game, 100% expect a PSVR 2 game, but like not even at launch, like probably late next year. But it's definitely cool. I think any VR game we see from this point on that is not like some kind of Oculus exclusive will be destined for PSVR 2, even if it's not announced. So please keep that in mind, everybody. All right, let's take care of a couple awesome tips. And the first one comes from Mattster Gamecattster. Wow, great job in Box VR yesterday with $100 tip, guys. Pizza for everyone. And that's exactly what he says. He writes, Monday suck.
On the house.
Pizza for everyone. Thank you so much, dude. Fucking really, really appreciate that. Can't even tell you how much. Mad Max Stone, the Game Cat Avenger, with a $5 tip says, what happened to that game from the Pixel Rip team?
Yuki.
That's Yuki. Yeah. Everyone should be talking about that all over the internet right now. It's coming out for Quest very soon, I think, and then PlayStation VR a little bit later. I think we've all got Yuki, so we'll be talking about that further down the road, maybe a little bit closer to the PlayStation VR launch. Looper the Game Cat with a €10 says, there's a scene in Pixel Rip 95 where your father enters while you're playing. For a brief moment, I felt like someone actually entered my house. It made my pants dirty like no horror game did. Dude, you guys remember that scene? The very beginning of the game?
You can't.
That did actually. I think that got me too, actually.
Dude, well, imagine
my
this.
Heart skipped a beat.
Imagine
like,
your name. Imagine your name's David. Dude, it's crazy. Like that happened, and then they were talking to me, and I was like, "Oh God, this is too real. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm too immersed."
Yeah, I was because of course you got a controller in your hand. You're kind of sitting forward. You're playing the game as if you were sitting on the floor as the kid, right? And you're like so intent. You're focused on the CRT television in the game, and then the in-game front door of the house whips open, and I totally forgot where I was for a second and thought somebody had just entered my apartment. I was like, it freaked me out.
It's not even just the first time I played it. Like when I replayed it, it happened to me again. My brain was just like, oh, I forgot that happened. Wow. Oh, there's a guy there. Like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, really crazy.
We also got Nihilist Ryan, the Game Feline, with a $10 tip says, on vacation, so I'm just stopping by to say heart right back.
Enjoy your vacation, Nihilist Ryan, the Game Feline. Yeah. Good to see you, man.
Nihilist is in Miami for the first time ever. Dave, what should I do while I'm here?
Well, I am not a Miami guy, but I will say if you are in Miami, stay off the roads. People are insane. That's what I would suggest. There's probably fun stuff to do, but don't drive too much on the highway because
if you're in Miami,
crazy.
Go to West Palm Beach or Boca Raton instead.
Yeah, although I grew up in West Palm Beach, and I wouldn't recommend many people go hang out there. But
Boca Raton,
just drive up to Orlando.
Yeah, there you go.
No, there's plenty of cool stuff to do in Miami. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Go to the beach or something. Have a good time.
Miami.
I just went to the Springs the other day, and that was a great time. So get out there in the sun. It'll be good for you.
What's up, Brian?
What's our next news story?
Our next news story, Brian, you're going to have to pretty much tell us all about. I've got some notes on it, but it was that Callisto, not Callisto Protocol, Callisto, was announced. I guess I'm guessing you were speaking with the developers or something, or found out from them, because you usually like to have sources backing up your information before you post something. Word on the street, anyway.
To put your mind and your worried heart at ease, I was talking to the CEO of Gib Games before I announced that it was coming to PlayStation VR. So I do have a reliable source on this one, and it's
CEOs are notoriously unreliable. Every CEO I've ever known at my IT company has sucked.
Well, yeah,
seriously.
The problem is when you're talking about a small dev team, usually the CEO is one of like 3 people that are working on the project.
Oh, yeah, he's the guy who came up with the game, and he's
right. So it's like to be like, oh, he's the CEO. It means like, well, he's like the other programmer also.
What it means is he works at a small enough company to get away with calling himself that, and no one will say shit to him. Because it's like, who else is going to be the CEO, dude?
But this game looks pretty cool, and so of course, anytime a big VR game comes out, I'm always curious if it's coming to PlayStation VR, and luckily they were very, very open with me, and also saying that, hey, we're targeting summer of 2022 on this thing, and PlayStation VR is where we want to be. And I said, well, it's summer of 2022. You're going to want to be on PSVR 2, and he sort of agreed with me on that. So I think we're going to be seeing this next year for PlayStation VR. But depending on how popular PSVR 1 still is, and depending on exactly when PSVR 2 comes out, I think that will determine which PSVR console we see this on. But they are definitely working on it for sure.
Oh my God, another one. Dark Slade's Diaries in the chat. Hey, what's up, man? $5 says, because you guys really look like you need $5. Thanks.
Thanks.
Hopefully you got it before they shut your power off. As you can tell, my power's already been shut off. I'm just broadcasting in the dark here.
Yeah. So talk to me.
I got to be honest with you, Brian. I was watching this footage, and so it is a puzzle game.
Oh goodness!
Like, I love sci-fi games, but I've liked stuff like The Persistence, which was like very Dead Spacey, action, stealth, stuff like that. I also like a lot of exploration, and this does say in the description that it has some exploration elements to it. Though I think I'm going to take that with a big grain of salt because it's in a closed spaceship with puzzles. Visually, I feel like it looks good, but I don't feel like it looks finished to me. Like, it doesn't look very polished. It looks like it's missing lighting. The textures don't seem to look very real. It looks just like flat, plain, almost like I don't know how to say it other than like a little
Unity store assets or something. Oh, no,
like little flat, like non-detailed textures and stuff. So visually, I wasn't like really blown away. I feel like it's just a couple things away from being like really good looking, though. Some lighting, some textures.
Well, it should make you feel better that we're in summer of 2021 right now, and it's not slated to release until winter of 2021 on PC. Right. So not only will there be plenty of time between now and then for them to put some finishing details on, which we've been talking to developers long enough to know that like getting the game working is priority number one, and then like putting finishing touches and like making it like look super nice. The polish is sort of like the last step of the game. So I do think this game will probably look a little bit better by the time it comes out, and of course give it another extra year on top of that to have some PSVR 2 love. So
there's also there's a few details on the Steam page here that make it more interesting than just saying I think it's a puzzle game. When I'm reading through the description, it says at a luxury hotel on Jupiter's second largest moon, a political figure was murdered along with 3 others. You got a whodunit. You got a whole whodunit. But it says
it's a murder mystery. This is already better than the normal puzzle game.
It says, based on the lore of the 2017 tabletop RPG Cold Start, which I've never heard of, but the Callisto combines the puzzles of an escape room with an interactive storyline and deep lore and a dynamic puzzle system to make each playthrough unique. So it changes every time. That sounds kind of interesting. I mean, there are a few things that sound like just like marketing talk here. Like,
I hear that's the problem is like, it's kind of like, and it's not because of them. It's because of just previous developers saying stuff over and over and over, story driven, and it's like no story,
I mean, no, but I will say, like, it looks like there is a story here, but even their own description sounds like a little bit market speaky. Like, I don't like it. It says sci-fi VR exploratory puzzle game. The Callisto pushes the boundaries of VR with stunning visuals, dynamic puzzles, and a rich storyline that unfolds piece by piece through your own exploration. Like, come on.
So last thing here before we move on to the next game. Like I'll give it a chance. I always give a game a fair chance on stuff. Being in space it does a lot, but you can't hear the trailer in this video, but the audio, the music and stuff they use in the trailer is fine, but the voice acting, it is not good. It is not good voice acting. It is not good voice quality. So I don't know. I'm hoping that this is like really early. Like I said, I'll always give it a chance, but I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing so far, unfortunately.
It ain't Hellsweeper.
It ain't no Hellsweeper.
I mean, I'm obviously far more impressed with this than you are. I know that certain things are going to suffer when you have an indie team working on something. And we don't have many murder mysteries in VR. Like, this sounds cool. I'm less impressed by the whole, it'll be different every time you play. I'm like, how about you just make it real special the one time I want to play? Like, rather than being like, when you're done, we're going to let you play again. But that's set. But because of that, we had to sacrifice all of these things along the way. I'm like, no. Just make one playthrough really special and let's not worry about replayability,
Well, but at the end of the day, though, like, Clue is replayable. It's different every time, like it's a murder mystery that never is the same.
True.
So, I mean, it could work.
Shout out to Joey Bats, 33 with a $3 tip, says, how much do you think PSVR 2 will cost? $400. I'm assuming that's what Joey Bats thinks. $400.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds like the
3
right
or 4.
ballpark.
3 or 4. Yeah.
Those
3 to 400.
Those orb controllers alone are going to cost, almost $80 a piece. So when they're all bundled in together, man, I would say that $400 is probably going to be a steal.
It just depends, I think, on Sony if they decide to sell at a loss, because Facebook is selling at a loss. They're taking a loss on every headset they sell because they want software, they want buy-in, whatever.
Ads, people data.
Put ads in front of your face. Yeah, so we'll see if they decide to just make us pay for it or if they're going to eat a little bit of the cost themselves.
Yeah. I mean, Sony's really good about taking a loss on consoles. They basically sold every single console they've ever made at a loss for at least the first year or so before it becomes profitable. And then, but we know PlayStation VR 1 they sold at a profit from day one. So maybe they learned a lesson from that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
All right. So this is supposed to be coming to PC later this winter or
this year,
PSVR as well.
Callisto winter this year, and then summer of next year for PSVR.
Okay, I want Callisto Protocol. That's what I want,
baby. Give it to me.
Oh yeah. All right. So, anyways, moving on. Last show, I think we talked about Gorn killing it with its pre-orders. I know it's not out yet, but they already surpassed 1 million copies. Right. But one thing I forgot, and credit to Road to VR once again. There was another game, and I don't know how I could forget, but it was Moss that joined the platinum mark, reaching 1 million units sold, grossing about 22.5 million in revenue. They go on to say that multi-platform development was key to their success. Obviously, Moss was actually a PSVR exclusive at first, but then when Quest dropped, they released on there, and I imagine Quest 2 as well, PC as well later. So big congratulations to Polyarch, and because that's like one of my favorite games ever. That it was such a moving game to me. I think Quill is one of the best created characters ever. I'm super excited about Moss Book 2. And I hope that
you have a relevant mug nearby.
I do have a.
Oh my goodness, he has a relevant mug nearby. Look at him.
Very relevant mug. I've also got a Moss poster right here. Yes.
Oh, so do I. I've got one back here.
With the launch of Moss Book 2, I better get a damn statue this time, though. But
I got one and I broke it to me, or Carlos broke it.
But no, I'm super excited about Moss Book 2, and I think they've only shown us a little taste of it. I think what they showed us from the state of play was intentionally kind of similar looking, nothing different, because they did show like a snowy area, a hammer and stuff. But I think they intentionally held back quite a bit. So I can't wait to see more on that game, see a release date, when it's going to be. It could be before the end of this year, it could be early next year. Not quite sure yet. But yeah. And we don't even know if it's going to be another exclusive as well. But big props to Polyarch, former Bungie devs. I've always said ever since Moss, whenever Bungie devs touch something, it usually ends up being a really good game. I say the same about Golem as well, who had Marty Friedman?
McFly? No.
Marty O'Donnell, who did the soundtrack for Golem. And despite the really weird, bad decisions that Golem had, it was a really good game overall. So really excited about that. But just had to get that one, make up for that, because I missed that last week.
Let me ask you guys this before we move on. What do you think the next VR game will be to enter the million selling club alongside these amazing titles?
That's a good question. I'm sure there are some that technically already qualified we haven't talked about. Like, I bet you No Man's Sky is easily 1 million copies, but that's not a VR game. First,
Before it was even VR.
I'm trying to think, like, what could be the next big one?
Like, especially in indie one.
I mean, could Firewall sell 1 million? Probably not. I don't think Firewall could.
I don't think so. I think it probably did really well, but
I think
not mainstream enough.
I think we'd have to say. I think it would have to be one that was cross-platform, or one that was available on different VR headsets.
Yeah,
it'd be a tough one. I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
Pistol Whip.
Maybe
that's my bet. That'll be the next.
It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something that is probably on both platforms. It has to be on both platforms or multi-platforms for me to believe that it will.
Good answer in the chat. Steve Mirza says Saints and Sinners. Why not?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Big IP. Game.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, gentlemen. What's our next news story?
The next news story is that the makers of Alt Deus and Tokyo Chronos have announced their brand new game coming up called Dischronia. Yeah, Dischronia. And it is their third entry in the series of Japanese visual novels. And yeah, man, you know, I'll be honest with you. I am the last person that should be talking about this right now because I despise visual novels in general. But I actually thought, despite being a little bored and stuff, I actually thought Aldeus was pretty good overall, especially if you like those kinds of things.
Yeah, I think
it was certainly better than the first one. I mean, hopefully they just continue to improve on this concept and, you know, give us a game that even if you don't love visual novels, it's still decent, worth playing, you know.
Yeah. It's interesting how far they came from Tokyo Chronos to Aldeus. Was pretty dramatic. Like they obviously listened to what people were saying. They were listening to what I was saying anyway. Everyone else seemed to love Tokyo Chronos, and I was just like, man, nothing's happening, and there's no VR elements here, and like I don't even really have hands in the game, and like there wasn't any reason to play it in VR. And then Aldeus kind of took a nice step forward and gave a lot more interactions and things to do, and kind of made it more into an interactive elements during the visual novel. And I hope that this one takes yet another step forward because, man, once we get to the point of something being as good as like Danganronpa, which is, it's not really fair to put all visual novels against Danganronpa. When that game came out, it sort of put everything else to shame. It sort of showed visual novels, this is how you do an awesome visual novel game. Like they just did everything so perfectly, so well that it was almost an impossibly high bar for anyone else to meet it after that point. But the point is though is like I hope we keep getting closer and closer and closer to that standard in VR, because man, just being able to walk around and do certain things and investigate crimes or whatever the hell it is that you're doing in this next game is, you need it to be more interactive, especially when it comes to VR. We're not laying in bed with our Vita or our Switch. You're got a headset on. You want to be in that game and like do stuff. It's not good enough just to read dialogue. And I guess my dearest is getting closer with every game.
It is worth mentioning also that Danganronpa has a little bit of a VR entry, and that puts everything basically to shame. Like, like it's just a little demo. Yep. There's not even a full game. It's just a free little download, but it is cooler than any visual novel we've ever seen in VR. Like a proof of concept, you can tell Danganronpa would knock it out of the park if they actually came, you know, with a full game like this. But
right. But early 2022, so it's, we get some time before we even get this thing, and hopefully it'll be a whole cross-platform launch at the same time. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens.
I love this comment from LC Beats. He says, "My favorite visual novel is DDLC." I don't get that acronym, but definitely not for everyone, though. In fact, I would not recommend it at all. I think that's how people who like visual novels speak about the games that they like. I wouldn't tell you to play it, but I like it.
I've got some games. Oh,
he's talking about Doki Doki Literature Club. Everyone should fucking play that game.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I don't know that one.
Fucking amazing. Amazing.
I saw it on sale or something.
Yeah, everyone should play it, but no one should look into it ahead of time. I know it's a weird recommendation. Okay. Like, just go in blind and yeah, that's all I'm going to say. What's our next news story?
All right, man. This brings us to our main topic of the evening, and that is an article that was released from GeekWire, and it was entitled and it was regarding one of the big blockbusters this summer, one of the few, because there's actually quite a bit, and I'm super excited to finally get some more info on Arashi Castles of Sin. And it's entitled How Endeavor 1 Used an Expert Swordsman and Dogs to Create VR Game Arashi Castles of Sin. And it's a really cool interview. They interview Tom Doyle. He is one of the co-founders of Endeavor 1.
Maybe he's
and
the
they
CEO.
Just,
who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe. And they shared some new tidbits. We've been so thirsty for some more Arashi. I have been. I don't know about you guys, but I've been dying to get more info on this game. So it was nice to have a little bit more info.
Yeah.
What popped out to you guys from this article? Because there's some stuff we've heard before, but there is some new intel in here. They go pretty in depth, actually. It's kind of a long article. Brian, you have it up on the screen right now?
Yeah, actually,
I've got lots actually to break down from this. If you want to take it one by one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. If you feel like doing that, I'll get the article up on the screen.
So the first was that I just mentioned with Polyarch and other teams having former members of Bungie that I've had really good experiences with their games. I think Bungie, obviously, for those who don't know, they made Halo and Destiny series. And now they've had a lot of that team, a lot of veterans from that break off into different VR divisions, different VR companies. And this team is no exception. It contains both people from Halo and Destiny that worked on those series, some with experience as much as like 12 years or more. That to me is the first very good sign about Arashi. I don't know. Maybe it's just my own superstition, but I don't know how you guys feel about it too.
It sounds like you're pretty superstitious. It's like anything that Bungie devs touch turns to gold. They've got the Midas touch. They've got to do it. But I mean, hey, look at the early looks at this game, the previews and everything. They look like it looks amazing. So who knows, man? Like you might be onto something here. But yeah, I did find the first thing interesting, if we're talking about the team itself, it does say in the article that it's like a team of 30 people, but we do know that it's that might be inaccurate. It sounds like they're a team of closer to 15 people. So keep in mind, guys, that like as great as this game looks, it's very much an indie studio, like trying to make like a pretty decently sized game. So just, I don't know. I always like to consider those kind of things when leading up to launch, to keep, I guess it's like the long way of saying keep your expectations in check, that it's probably going to be great, but know what a 15-person team is capable of versus like a 100-person team.
Oh yeah. A little interesting detail here as well. They said not just Halo and Destiny, but some people who've worked on Microsoft AR and HoloLens,
Right.
which said they've got some VR background, but it'll be nice for them to actually work on a platform finally that someone has used. Because Microsoft AR and HoloLens are dead to the world. So, that'll be nice.
I know they worked on maybe like a Windows like mixed reality experience or something for like Halo or something at one point.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's nice.
So the next bullet point I have is they describe the game's gameplay and level design as a combat sandbox. And that they say here in the article that can include stealth, infiltration, subtly neutralizing targets, a full pacifist run where you achieve Kenshiro's goals without killing anyone, or simply going into the enemy with an arsenal of period appropriate.
Oh, you got to say waiting. They can see it. He said waiting. That's a much better word.
Sorry.
Oh,
it was cut off on there.
There we go.
Wading into the enemy, just like wading into the guy.
Yeah.
What first thing that jumps out to you when you hear the term combat sandbox? What's the first thing that you think of?
Kind of like Hitman or Sairento.
Yeah,
Hitman for sure.
Yep.
And so I'm immediately I'm thinking, ooh, Tenchu cross Hitman. Like that sounds like the ultimate marriage right there.
Yeah. Shades of Grey Matter says full pacifist run has me excited.
Yeah.
He's gonna just run in there with flowers in his hand and
he's not
around.
wading through shit. He's just gonna
And 7 to 9 hours sounds pretty exciting too. I mean that's 7 to 9 hours for me. AJ's gonna blast through this game in like 2.5 hours at most, and then he's going to platinum
Because
it in 7 to 9 hours.
He is himself quite a swordsman. I mean, he's got the Buster sword he's been practicing with for years.
Yeah.
He probably plays Swordsman VR more than anybody amongst us here. So, he's good at what he does.
Thank you. 7 to 9 hour campaign typically shows up a little bit, or ends up being a little bit shorter than that. However, while you're right about that, like some people have the ability to blast through these games and cut down that thing, I also like to, especially if I have ample time given via early access or other ways, I like to take my time. Like with Sniper Elite, I really took my time with that and love to just, I could spend so much time just exploring the level. And I think that's the way. It really depends on the type of game. And a sandbox game, combat sandbox as they describe, is usually one like with Hitman, it's only got 8 levels, but I had like 20 hours into it because I would love to go back and replay a different thing, use different weapons, do another run where you try to go without getting caught. Stuff like that, and that stuff matters to me. I like the challenge and the reward from the challenges that can be presented there. I'm not usually one to just run in there and just cheese everything and be satisfied from that.
You want to hear something?
I love how you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was like, do you want to hear something really stupid? And this is
up?
just.
I love hearing stupid stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just the way that I played Tenchu back in the day. But usually if I get cited or seen, spotted,
seen
words.
If you got seen.
Yep. I would just restart the level. I'd be like, oh, I failed. But, even though it lets you fight and do all that stuff. And so, my recollection of Tenchu, the Tenchu series, was just being stealthy and like never letting anybody see you, and all stealth kills and attacks from this. And so, at no point until reading this article did I think, oh wait, there's going to be actual sword fighting in this game. Like when you get spotted and they turn and they fight you. It's like that didn't register. So here I am suddenly going, wait a minute, is like how good is the sword fight? Are the sword fighting mechanics? Is it going to feel as good as Swordsman? Like is it like Swordsman but like in an actual like adventure game? Like suddenly my mind is just like blown wide open here of possibilities that we could be getting.
Well, I have to say that I don't know if you guys are looking at the same part of the article that I am, but it ties in exactly to what you're saying. We spared no detail here, Tom Doyle said. We employed Master Russell McCartney, a world record holder in Japanese swordplay, to do the motion capture for the guys you're fighting. They say you won't simply be fighting against some bad guy. You're actually facing one of the greatest swordsmen alive. We really strove for authenticity. That's wild. I mean, that's scary to me. It's also like the greatest. I just started this game and he's already the best swordsman in the world. Fuck.
I love that.
That's
I
so
absolutely
cool,
love that.
Yeah.
That is a super cool detail. It was all mocapped by.
I hope they got a good dog to motion capture, like the best dog in the world at whatever, as well.
Swain Jupiter with the 50 Nokia cell phone says, I have a feeling August may provide a few truly great surprises for us. I feel as though you're onto something, Swain Jupiter. Those 50 Nokia cell phones, I agree with 100%.
So, Dave, you'll like this part. So the Master Swordsman is not the only actor that was mocapped for this in-game stuff. They say it was a 2-part field trip, Doyle said. We worked with a partner in Canada, Beyond Capture, who has this stable of actors, and these actors have 4 legs and are furry.
Oh my God, they really did motion capture I should have read this whole article.
They said they are fantastically trained, beautiful, disciplined animals, and we got the opportunity to work with them to make sure our experience with Haru, which is the wolf you have in the game, is as authentic as humanly possible. And he goes on to say that they had to use trained German shepherds because they were the closest thing you could get. But you can't motion capture a wolf because it's a wild animal and it'll kill everybody on set. That's got to be the coolest damn job in the world to mocap dogs.
Well, here's the second part. They couldn't mocap the wolf, but they got to go hang out with wolves in the research process. Yeah. They went to this wolf sanctuary and they got to hang out with dozens of these beautiful animals. Very cool.
Yeah. Super cool little detail, man. I'm such a sucker for animals. I think the wolf Haru was one of the things. I mean, I love this game, But the wolf Haru, your companion in this, is just like the cherry on top for this game, going all the way back to like Shadow Dancer or Dead to Rights. Or, you know, for me who loves Final Fantasy VII, you had Red 13, who's like one of my favorite characters. Red 13 is my favorite video game character of all time. But, you know, we talked about story and stuff, and they haven't like super pushed the story, but this is one that like it kind of speaks for itself from what I've seen so far, because you know, you've got your, I think it's like one of your relatives that's a female that you're working with. And the whole story is about getting revenge on these 6 different castles that you're supposed to attack or something. And there's like 6, that's what it's called, the Castles of Sin or whatever. And there's supposed to be like, expecting 6 castles, maybe some other set pieces as well, at the very least.
Exciting stuff in this article.
Yeah, super exciting. And in fact, they, you know, doesn't say too much about the game specifically, but the way they end the article is Doyle's quoted again by saying, the thing that's ultimately so exciting about VR is that there's still no playbook. Experiences are constantly being made and constantly improving. That is one of the things that we tried to do with our game, is to get to the heart of what makes an awesome moment-to-moment experience and not really being waylaid by the expectations of what a flat 2D or non-VR game provides. Which is like definitely speaking our language. We're always talking about moment-to-moment gameplay and the immersion factor and all of this stuff. And it sounds like Doyle's like right there with us. And half of that gets me excited and goes, well, I can't wait to see what they've done for us. And the other half of me is like, well, we heard some similar things from the Golem team that were like, oh, we've like revolutionized the locomotion system. It was like, and it was terrible, right? And but this does make me think that they're at least playing other VR games and seeing what other people have done, and seeing what's working and not working. So that is it's reassuring and nerve-wracking at the same time. A little bit.
Dude, it's going to be better than Golem. They mocapped the dog.
Well, Golem's great.
It's going to be better than Golem.
Golem was great. The locomotion system was stupid.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. The locomotion system was terrible. But, you know, some last little tidbits that we can actually add to this ourselves. They have confirmed that it is the traditional virtual joystick, as they called it, actually, which I think is a great thing, which is you press the move button and you point in the direction you want to walk. That is the locomotion system. And yeah, we've also gotten that word that there was the kunai, which is that like spear, the hook or whatever it's called. It's like a yeah, it's like the thing Scorpion uses. Yeah. And there's like ragdoll and stuff that you can ragdoll enemies. So can't wait to see more actual gameplay and details on this game, because I'm super excited about this one. When we did our hype meter for the games of the summer, this is one of my top ones, next to like Fracked and like something else.
You know, I got to ask too, since we got into everyone in the chat. There's a lot of talk in this about Kurosawa inspired. Hit me with your favorite Kurosawa movie in the chat. I want to know. I'm curious, because I would like something to watch tonight, and I got the Criterion Collection. So
that is it, man. Great article from GeekWire. I almost said Geek Squad.
The Geek Squad over at Best Buy dropping this in everywhere.
Yeah, the last thing I want to add to the conversation is that this is a PSVR exclusive for now, right? It's like they haven't announced it for other platforms, and so it does seem like development is actually at this point 100% focused on PSVR. And I love that, because you know, as much as some people like to bash on exclusives and saying it's not good for the industry, fuck that nonsense, because I will tell you that when a team is 100% focused on making a game for one platform, it always looks better and generally plays better, right? It's like it's the difference between something like, you know, Blood and Truth and let's say, I don't know, Sniper Elite, right? Both great games, but one just has like that level of polish because they were only focused on one system, one platform, one VR headset, one control scheme, like the whole thing. And so you could put the whole team on one game or one version of the game to make it look better, play better, everything. And so like that, anytime somebody says, hey, we're making a PSVR exclusive, I immediately go, thank God. Right? It's like bring it to whatever fucking platform you want after it's all said and done, right? And start your porting process after. But the second you try to launch on all platforms at the same time, it's chaos. And like something suffers. Sniper Elite should have looked twice, if not 3 times better than it did. Which leads us to a tip that we just got from Hasib Mirza. A $2 tip says, off the cuff, is Sniper Elite a top 25 PSVR game?
Yes, for me it is. Absolutely. Maybe not top 10, but it's definitely absolutely going to be, I'm going to be fighting for it for sure. Yes. No doubt about it. I was talking with Rebellion about the best kinds of enemies in video games, and there's 3 kinds that are my favorite, and that is demons, zombies, and Nazis. Those are my 3 favorite types of enemies to fight in video games.
And sometimes they mix them. Well, it's like demon Nazis, demon Nazis that are also zombies too. It's like, yes, perfect.
Those are the ultimate enemy you could have.
Dave, top 25?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Sniper Elite.
Oh yeah, for me, yeah, for sure.
I'd say it's top 25.
One quick thing to mention before we move on from Arashi is that it will be getting a physical release through Perp Games.
Yeah.
That's exciting to know. Perp Games always doing their job over there, getting us those physicals.
The physical saviors of PSVR. And this is, in case anyone's curious, this is coming out this summer. Arashi wasn't revealed all that long ago. Nice little surprise. And summer's not that much longer, guys. We only have 9 more weeks of summer, something along those lines. So we get a lot of cool games coming out over the next 9 weeks. And to answer the question, Sniper Elite, back half of top 25 list for sure. Which brings us to our favorite way to end every single show here, and that's with a little game of PSVR 20 questions, where one of us takes the role of the host, thinks of a PlayStation VR game, and then the other ones of us and everybody in the chat asks 20 yes or no questions trying to figure out what game that is.
Indeed.
As we've made a couple bonus rules about this. We can whoever's participating can't scroll back in the chat. I mean, I guess you guys in the chat can, but like Dave and I cannot today. We can only see the current chat. Also, we got to play super strict by the time limit. If we run out of time, we lose. So
yes.
So let's do this. What did we use last time? Looks like we put
7.
Is it 7?
6?
No, I put 6. I put 6 last time, and we beat it by almost 2 minutes.
Yeah, we can do 6. That's fine.
AJ, do you have a game picked out for 20 questions?
I do have a game picked out for 20 questions.
Good.
Let's do this.
I'm
All
glad.
right, on your mark, get set, go. Go ahead, Dave.
Does it have aim support, AJ?
No.
Okay.
Move support.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Is it a puzzle game?
No.
Okay.
Is it a horror game?
No.
Do you shoot things?
Technically, no.
Technically,
No.
I like that.
You don't shoot things. No.
Okay.
You don't shoot things.
Do you have full
You don't shoot
locomotion?
things. Okay.
Yes, there's full locomotion.
Would you call this maybe like a narrative-driven kind of game?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it a narrative-driven game.
Has the developer of this game made other PSVR games?
Yes.
Ooh.
There we go. Is it multiplayer?
No.
Okay.
You're at 9. This
We're
is
going
question
fast.
10.
We're blowing
Yeah,
through this one. We don't even need a timer, man. We're just fucking go right to the finish line. Lose as fast as possible.
You said there was no multiplayer, right?
No multiplayer.
Okay, I just want to double check. Is it Does it have a very distinct art style?
I'm gonna pass on that question.
Yeah, don't ask stuff like that.
I don't even know what that means. I'd
Does it
say,
have
yeah.
Is it,
Rather than saying okay, it doesn't matter. Let's move on.
is it realistic or not realistic graphically? How about that one? Like, is it cartoony?
No, it's not cartoon. It's more realistic.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. You don't really shoot stuff, but it is move controls. You full
You're at
locomotion.
10 questions down.
Fantastic.
Is it first? No, I'm not going to ask that. It's probably first person. That's a wasted question.
Almost every game is like first person.
Yeah,
Almost.
I know. I mean, and I can't think of one that would be. Okay. Yeah.
Do you have any special powers in this game?
Yes. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kinda special powers.
Oh, okay. Ooh, can I be more specific?
Mm-hmm.
Do you shoot things with magic?
No.
Damn. Okay.
What?
Well, you didn't
no.
you didn't ask earlier if you shot things with guns, did you? You just said, "Do you shoot things?"
No,
And
but
so
he
that
was
would-
kind of on the fence about that. But I don't know. I'm thinking about something. And you were hesitant on this one too, AJ. What's the answer?
You don't shoot
You
things
shoot
with
things with
magic.
magic. I'm gonna say not really. No, I mean.
Can I rephrase?
maybe-
Are you a spellcaster?
You are not a spellcaster. You
Okay,
can
got it.
rephrase that one. I won't count that against you.
Good. Thank you.
Dave, let's think of some things where you have some kind of special abilities, magical abilities that like.
Oh, Shades of Grim. Well, no, Invisible Hours is narrative based.
Oh,
For a minute, I was
100%,
like,
yeah.
because rewinding time
And
is
you don't-
sort of like a special ability, and you know
you don't
whatever.
have full locomotion.
Oh, that's true. Forgot that.
Yeah. Man, not horror, not puzzle, not really a shooting kind of game. What does that leave us with, huh?
Is it sci-fi?
No.
Okay.
Is this game okay? Is this game playable without VR?
No. That
Is this
14.
a
14.
dating game? We've
what?
never done one, a dating game, because we got Focus on You, we got like all those other games. I thought nobody would ever pick one, but I just want to make sure that you're not being super sneaky and picking like
No.
Focus on You or some shit like that. Okay. All right, so it's not a dating game.
Still a lot of genres and gameplay mechanics and stuff you haven't.
Well, yeah, and we have very few questions left.
Can
Yeah.
you fly?
No, you can't fly.
You don't fly.
And I didn't specify in a vehicle,
Oh,
so
do you have a
that's
sword?
Do have a sword.
okay.
You
there we
do
go.
have a sword.
So-
Okay, we're getting close now.
All right. so-
You're at 17.
Okay, so let's use our last questions wisely. Let's think of
Indeed.
games that are made by teams that have made other PSVR games, multiple PSVR games, and that you have a sword and you have full locomotion, and you're not really shooting stuff, which kind of eliminates, like Servios with raw data, right?
I'm seeing a lot of people saying Shadow Legend, which sounds like maybe it fits. Does it? You
No,
think it
you
fits? I mean,
you definitely shoot things with magic in that game. You get the magic
oh,
staff.
yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
got,
yeah. Okay.
no,
You're right.
100%. Which, yeah.
Okay. That would have been an easy one. Like I
Mm-hmm.
would have liked that one. So let's see. Swords of Gargantua is multiplayer, guys. So no, not that one.
Good call, though. Good guesses. I like this.
Hey, AJ, is it a roguelike?
No.
Ah, shit. Okay, because Until You Fall sounded good too.
Yeah,
Although that doesn't have a realistic art style, so that I messed up there.
it's all good. I'm trying to think of games where you have a sword.
This is 18.
Let's think of games that have swords. That aren't swordsmen.
Would
or-
it just be fucking swordsman?
Well, so let's see. So swordsman, you use to move controllers. It has full locomotion.
You have 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. You're at 18 questions.
It
You
could
have
just
40.
be
You
swordsman,
have 45
dude.
seconds.
I know.
Yeah, it's all good.
Can you grab people in this game?
Yes.
It's a swordsman.
Okay, it's swordsman.
It is swordsman.
Got it.
Good job, guys.
Fantastic.
Good job.
I thought we were
Release the
screwed on that one.
Kraken.
That was
Hell
a good
yeah.
way to end.
Good one.
Woo.
Indeed.
Try to make it easy for you.
I mean, that's a
Since-
pretty obvious one. I should have got way sooner, but
I don't know what
That's
you're talking
not
about, man.
shooting.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Sin's never made another PSVR game.
as far as I know,
let's all
Oh, yeah,
pretend
man.
this
Good
is
job.
the only one.
Good
All right,
job
you
in
were
the
so
chat,
far
too.
off that I was like,
I saw-
"Are you a
I saw all of you.
spellcaster?" Which
That
is like
was
the
a hard
dumbest
one.
question I've asked.
The hard one was when you said, "Do you shoot stuff?" I was like, "There's one gun in this
Doesn't
game."
Yeah.
really help us, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
don't
were like,
really.
"Do you use magic, cast spells?" I'm like, "There's some swords in the game that cast spells." It was a tough one to answer those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You beat the timer too. Good job.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, that does it for another episode of PSVR Gamescast Live. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR and subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. Both of these guys run their own YouTube channels. Make sure you go check them out. Share the love and spread it around, man. Make love and then smear it everywhere.
That's not. We got
Everywhere.
kids in here.
Dial
Brian.
it back a little,
We
Brian.
got kids in here.
What are
Don't
they doing
smear
here?
your love all over the place, guys.
Who let their kids in here, man? It's like that's on the parents. You should have known better. The channel's called Without Parole, man. Just saying.
I will say,
should've
Brian
vetted the
Hunter
show a
has
little
more
bit.
sense in his head than half of the people out there.
That's 100% true. I want to give a shout out real quick to Damish Smosh with a last minute $10 tip. Says, just in case, here it is again, extra firewall code. Thanks for the show,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, Alessa, I didn't see anybody say they claimed it. So if you do claim it or you did claim it, let us know so everyone's not trying to get this thing. Thank you so much again for the for the tips and for the key giving
That's-
away. It's very generous of you.
Spreading love.
That's right. Guys, we also want to give a shout out to all the moderators making our lives easier. They help us here. They help us on Discord. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate all of you. Love you all. Also, Miles Dyer, who runs our Instagram account. Jay Meow, who's heading up the Spotify charge, and all of the other streaming services eventually. Thank you so much for helping out, guys. This is such a community effort to make Without Parole run. There's no way that like 1 or 2 people can do this behind the scenes. We're trying to do way more than we should be able to do, and everybody that contributes, we fucking love all of you. So thank you very, very much. And that extends to everybody who hung out in the chat today. That extends to everybody who donated, helping keeping this channel running. Fucking love you. And of course, everyone out there who watched the show, sat back, didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there too, and we love you just as much. Thank you, Dave.
Before we cue the cat, Steve Irie in chat says, "I'd hate to shine a black light around Brian's place."
I would
You
also
absolutely
hate it if Steve Irie shined a black light around my place.
Don't do that.
Yeah, Tornado's the only one
Anyways,
here, and she doesn't share secrets.
She doesn't know.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. My name is Brian. This is PSVR Gamescast Live, and we're out.
Cue the cat, Brian, because I want to say thank you so much and have a great night. See you Wednesday to LC 2552 beats. Oh yeah, keep them beats going. Flame hat, Flame hat. Flame hat caught the first Saturday Night live stream. Saturday Night live stream was so much fun. I love you guys so much for it. Justin Cassidy, thank you so much, my dude. Endeavor One, big shout out to you guys. Really excited for Arashi. Cannot wait. And you know,
Last Chance got the firewall key. Congrats, Last Chance.
Oh, nice. Last chance. Hell yeah for the firewall code. Guy Sun Fist Bump to you. Shades of Gray Matter. Nick Bueller, the Game Cat. Off Court Game Cat. Skiba 007. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Saka, Taka, Willard, Dan Kiefer, Brent Dawson, Delirium True VR. Let's scroll up a little bit to Blue Chew, the Underground Game Cat. Thank you so much for starting that tit brain. Miles Dyer, thank you so much, man. Keep up the great work with the Instagram account. Bob Zarkov, the Underground Dave Station Game Cat, elitist of the elite name squad in the house. Sergeant Frosty, don't you know this show is his childhood? Chaos, thank you so much. Decepticon GG to you, my friend. Steve Irie, always tuning in from Ireland. Thank you so much. Johnny No Pockets, aka the Who Dat Game Cat. Thank you so much. Patrick M says, use the Game Gear. I agree.
Oh, please don't let that be a thing. No, I don't want that to be a thing. It's so bad. It's so bad.
You Game Cat, thank you so much. Killa Sam, we love you as well. Swain Jupiter, thank you so much. Glad you enjoyed the show. We'll see you on the next one. Mattster Gamecattster, my dude. So good to see a face with the name. Join our Discord, everybody. We get to hang out a lot after hours. It's a lot of fun. Really cool to meet everybody. I love interacting with each and every one of you in person. Zach Lightning. Let's see. Dragoon's Eye, wave back to you. So many of you here today, man. Anakazi, thank you so much for joining. So good to see. Rody the Game Cat. Hope the tour is going well, my friend. Good to see you as well. Multivitamin Orange is with us once again. I can never forget a name like that, nor could I forget a name like Jordan Cloud. Thank you so much for joining. Guys, you have a wonderful rest of the night. We will see you on Wednesday or possibly before then. Have a great week, guys.
et.2k.now. 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 et.2k.now.